Hi, I'm Alina and welcome to the 5th episode of Keeping Sanity. Today I'm gonna have a casual chat with you about how I found a second wind once again. To introduce the topic, I was really, I think you may call it a slump when I was not willing to do anything and everything I started doing seemed pointless. That's why, and there was actually a breaking point a few days ago, which when I was feeling hopeless and really, even though I was happy, like everything around me felt like it didn't make sense. I was doing it for no reason. It's not ever gonna bring any results. And moreover, I did not feel well physically, and my health was kind of on and off, basically not being as good as I would like it to be. And then there was like a breaking point on, I think it was around July 5th at 6th. I was just lying in bed and I consciously made the decision not to not to get up, and I allowed myself to binge watch, binge eat everything I wanted to do just to feel better. And the next day, for some reason, probably I just had quite a nice rest on July 6th, and the next day I naturally started feeling better, and yeah, everything just started making sense. But I still was unmotivated. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to lie in bed all day. And then, but it was better than the previous day. So then I got a notification from an app called costar, and it said, "You're finally ready to start developing that full potential of your personality that you have been waiting for." And this app is actually an astrology app. I don't know if you believe in that stuff or not, but I'm like between the two worlds, and I don't think it's either good or bad. It's just accurate for me, not for all people though, but luckily it is for me, and it just keeps me going sometimes when I really need a break or I really need motivation. Then I go into that app and it really does help me. But the way I continued my day is I didn't really think about it anymore. I mean, I read the quote and forgot about it in 2 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to it later. But what I continued on doing was just work that I had to do. For instance, I decided to finally start programming a bit, and that was actually surprisingly for me much more interesting than I expected, which lifted my mood. And then I pushed myself to do some more work, and I chose Italian. I had some homework for summer, so I did that, and I kid you not, it was the best experience of my summer, because I remembered how much I literally am in love with Italian, and I could speak, hear, read, write that language all day, every day. It's my passion, I would say. It just makes me so freaking happy. And the next thing I did as relaxation, I just hopped onto YouTube and decided to watch a video, just a random one. And the one I chose this time was Matt Diavella's called I Made a Mistake. I'm gonna link that in the description. And I didn't really think about it too much. I don't know, clickbaity title, whatever. And the thing he talked about there is his beliefs and how it's okay to change them. And his example was that he talked about how he used to go to the gym and he used to love it, but now with quarantine, he decided to change it up. Obviously, he had to train at home, so he chose resistance bands as his main part of equipment. And the moral of the story was that he confused his ability to adapt to at-home workouts for his love for gym workouts. I hope the sentence made sense, but what I mean is that he tricked himself into thinking that he amazingly enjoys these resistance band training, but in fact he was just forcing himself, and in reality nothing could make him as happy as gym workouts would. And this was kind of one more breaking moment for me, because I stopped and questioned all of my decisions thus far, especially the ones that are most difficult and require my actual personal input. So, for instance, my podcast or my blog. And they are not easy things to do, and they're still not formed habits. So I do face some resistance every time I go and do that. As well as that, the nature of these activities, which is putting yourself out there on the internet, it is not easy for anyone, and especially for people like me who are not used to being sociable in any life situation whatsoever. But I should probably add a remark here, because of the past year, moving to a different country and studying in IB has drastically changed how I behave. If some people think I am shy and anti-sociable now, they should probably see me 2 years ago. That was a completely different person, 10 times as shy. So I am quite proud of myself for going out quite a bit more, even though I still am not a fan of talking to people. But it's been easier, especially on social media, when there's no real-time judgment. I mean, no real-life judgment. And I'm really glad to say that I try not to, at least, identify with being shy or modest anymore, because really my philosophy is that life is kind of a game, and if you don't try, you will never know. So it's much more fun when you don't overthink, and just do the things you want to do. And returning to that thing, I was saying how I doubted all of my decisions thus far. I actually felt empty inside, because I'm still not sure whether this is something that I'm absolutely passionate about. I do enjoy doing it, but I would not give my everything for only doing these things. And so I'm quite fragile here in this point, because I'm still not sure whether I can call it a passion. Hence, I would like to discuss a conclusion, so-called moral of the story, that I derived from this situation. And the thing is, actually, that's what my mom told me, that we are free to try all the activities we want, and we're also free to decide whether we want to keep doing them or just cut ties with them and not return back. And really that calmed me down, because I can stop whenever I want, but then my hidden personality comes out and says that it's not fun it's not a game to just quit every time something becomes harder. So I just remembered how going out of our comfort zone is never easy. And as they say, no pain, no gain. So my advice, if you're in the same situation right now or in any similar one, the advice would be not to give up in the beginning, as I almost did, and just do sufficient work so that you can really judge and examine whether the activity is right for you and you want to continue doing it. And what actually helped me get out of this toxic mindset is I found a few people who are also beginners or just a bit more experienced than I am, and see how they progressed. And I did find a lot of similarities, and these people are still going on and doing what they think they want to do. And it really did inspire me, even though I have no chance to get into their minds and see whether we have the same thoughts. But I did find sufficient similarities just to come to a conclusion that this might also work for me. And here I also remembered a proverb that we use quite often, I mean, in my family, I guess, which says maybe rain, maybe snow, maybe yes, maybe no. But I realized how wrong it is, because there's actually, most of the time, there's no definite answer, as well as there never an ultimate truth, because everything is relative, dynamic, and flexible, and you can never say, yes, absolutely, I love this activity. There are always ups and downs, and it's like you can hear. Let's take a teacher as an example. So a teacher may love interacting with students and doing blah blah blah, but the one thing they hate is doing presentations or something like that. So there's always an up and down to the situation, and it's almost never a process that you will 100% enjoy, but you just have to weigh the outcomes and whether it is worth it. And I actually discussed that topic in the previous episode, so go and give that a listen, because I discussed how we can determine whether something is worth it or not, and worth doing, I mean. And I want to end this on a positive note, and as I told you, I'm going to return to the astrology app. And actually, a passage that was given to me as a recommendation yesterday, it says, the general theme of your life during this period is to work long, hard, and persistently at tasks that would usually tire you out. The nature of desire is not to be satisfied. That is what gives it its charge. And I really love this quote, especially its relevance to my life right now. And if you're struggling in the same way as me, or you just think that you need some motivation, I advise you to download this app seriously, because, I mean, honestly speaking, I don't go here too often, like a few times a month, but it really does help when I do. As well as that, I'm gonna put all the links of the things I mentioned here in the description. And my website is coming soon as well, so that's gonna be linked in a few days. And thank you for listening. Later.